and welcome back to Nat19.
Finish it.
You keep going.
76.
Commit to the bit, Deacon.
Finish it.
The gauntlets of Goger's strength.
Oh, god damn it.
Keep going.
That's all I'm gonna do.
Cool. I'm gonna roll the dice, and I'm gonna see who's gonna give us the recap.
Right.
It's not gonna be Lancer.
Right.
It's not gonna be Lancer. It's not gonna be Lancer. Malaclips, go! Jesus, how many threes can I roll?
On one level, it's like, you know, we were trying really hard to have her say it, or him say it, or them say it as well. It went on for and then whenever they did it, he asked for someone to wield it, and someone who is pure of heart, and everyone was like, who could possibly be the goodest boy to do the goodest of goodestness? However, when we came back and the others were done with whatever the fuck they were doing, we met up with the remainder of the dials. They were started to talk about how they are kind of tired of doing things, and they want to kind of just live their lives now that they're able to, and disband the remainder of the Dial clan.
I'm still gonna give an inspiration.
Yay!
To Buddy.
Why?
Oh? Why?
Why? What?
Because you see,
Hateful him?
because you see, Buddy, your birthday is coming up.
Oh yeah.
And we have a thing that we occasionally do on the birthdays, which you might remember on the birthdays, which is today, in today's game, anytime anyone rolls a Nat19, the inspiration is going to go to Buddy. Buddy, you also have, you will also be allowed, Buddy, to throw your inspiration at other people if you wish to.
Hey, buddy, can I have an inspiration?
No.
Inside there is a fireplace that has currently been lit that is gently illuminating Orla. Just to reiterate the description from last game, she's healed, like her body is fine, but she's mostly beat up. Like her vest is just gone, her hair is no longer tied up.
Down hair Orla? Oh, why wasn't that the thumbnail? I want to see down hair Orla.
Because we've had an Orla thumbnail in fucking recently, and I want to cycle characters.
Are you saying that we can have enough Orla thumbnails?
Yes, you like your sword.
It reminded me of how much good in the world there is.
Oh.
We get it. You have the greatest sword ever forged by human hands. Could you shut up for 10 minutes?
God damn it.
Since you're all alive, I'm guessing things went okay.
Things went pretty good.
Peridot definitely could have killed me. Decided not to.
Why?
That's what we were hoping for, right?
Why? I'm guessing because it's not her war. Seems to be something of a pacifist regarding things she doesn't have to do. I did.
How was Saber at the end of all that?
He was pretty beat up. He's gone now. She holds her hand up, one of the gloves that she would normally have, like, on her arms, one of the wrapped, like, working gloves, is just gone. It looks like it was destroyed. There's, like, a little shred of the fabric still, like, around her arm that now looks like a bracelet, but where her command seals would be, you see there's now nothing. During the fight, I had to use one command seal to prevent something from accidentally killing me, but I used the other two to do what I said I would. I did that around midnight. I could not,
How long do we have left?
You've got about 20 hours where Saber can't bother you. Of the 3 commands, the one that I chose to omit, and you'll be happy about this, is Boobadoop. I did, because I couldn't use all 3 commands, I omitted the Do Not Harm Orla Fannin command. He still has to stay away from me for 24 hours unless I give him permission, and he can't harm any of you for 24 hours.
How did he take
Are
that?
you gonna be okay?
I had sent him to pick some things up from the mansion, and then bring them back to me, and then when I got back, basically just left. I didn't actually use the commands on him while he was here. I tried to tell him what I was going to do, and he just seemed to want to leave. Well, didn't seem angry.
Do you feel like you're in danger?
He left like a man that had done his job. He seemed satisfied. I think that he understood what we were doing. I also had considered while you were gone, and this is why I had him go pick some things up, that even though I do hold on to that, well, I might have overreacted, I did have good reasons for doing what I did. I never technically paid you for your work for me and Adelia. So I've decided to provide some compensation for that.
Did you send money to Stonewalker because you never paid her? Anyway.
It's fucking true. Dude, I like to
I mean,
scream.
technically, the only thing she promised don't welcome to see her dad, so it doesn't matter.
She, like, motions towards the case that you normally carry the gear blade in.
My big guitar case.
At this point, our contract is in effect. It's better that we deal with it now.
Yeah, how is everybody about the... Oh! Looks away.
Right.
What?
Why do you looks away from Diane?
Specifically Diane.
Why? She's got really torn up clothes.
She has really torn up and wet clothes.
That's
And that
fair.
wet clothes are white clothes.
It's true. We're never gonna forget that that's a white shirt, Diane.
I've noticed.
And it's cold.
And it's cold.
Yeah.
Compensation for Adelia.
I look in the bag.
It's a family heirloom that well, I say heirloom, more like a family spoil of war from back when we earned our freedom that I've never had any reason to use, and nobody in our family has ever had any reason to use. I
It's like
imagine.
compensation for Adelia. You open it up, you see Gearfried's head.
Whenever you constructed your gear blade, you made use of magic that was already inside of it, and you ended up settling onto a great sword. I would imagine that that's because there are blueprints within it that already talk about making a weapon like that. The reason for that is those blueprints are based off of a weapon that our former slave driver owned, called the Spark of Trickery. You can have it if you want. It should be an okay replacement for this.
Okay.
The one thing you notice is this duffel bag is not great sword sized, like in any regard. It's relatively small. Opening it, you see inside there is what looks like a sword handle with a blade that it looks too blunt to be able to cut anything, and it's only about the size of like a little bit shorter than a short sword. The handle unfurls as if it was collapsible, extending out to like 2 or 3 times the size it was. The blade, which I'm just going to assume for the sake of narrative is pointed away from you, unfurls, and clockwork mechanisms inside of it begin to change and unravel. And effectively, the smaller blade transforms and becomes a very long, sleek, greatsword-sized blade with a whole bunch of very old-looking etchings and clockwork patterns.
Oh, yeah.
Crimbus.
Yes, I'm happy now. Shut up.
I had thought that it would be... part of me wanted to give you that to repay you, and another part of me thought that if I'm gonna finally get this thing off of my arm, it was fitting that I got rid of the last memento of our former slave driver as well.
Hey, Diane, why don't we go outside and smoke cigarettes like both of us do?
You don't smoke cigarettes.
He has on one occasion. In his defense,
have?
he has.
I have
never noticed.
definitely smoked,
A cigarette.
yes.
And he was cool and edgy about it.
Well, I have a very different opinion of you now.
Huh. I guess you learn something new every day. This world is filled with so many good surprises.
Shut up!
I swear.
I don't know if you got the memo, but we are all here to be depressed! Stop it!
This is not a fun time we're having. There is no good.
Fucking cold outside, but I'm sensing ulterior motives, so sure.
Can you guys not just be friends?
No, it's
You're gonna mirror.
I hate it when people murr.
Why, you got me. I've never smoked before that one time.
huh.
I feel like I've been lied to.
So, just wanted to say I had a talk with my sister, and
Okay.
she said you guys had a talk recently as well. She advised me that we should maybe talk about that.
Here we are.
If that's cool. I just wanted to say we're good.
Okay.
I don't want things to be weird between us.
As we're out here talking in the snow.
Conversation.
I don't want...
So good. Go on.
I want to die.
I can help with that. No.
I kind of wanted to say that I think you made the right call. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
I know.
Dude, you were upset. It's upset. You don't have to be a bitch about it. God damn. Fucking whatever. Roleplay however you want.
Like, you're my friend, and I don't want you to worry that you've, like, emotionally devastated me in some way. I just wanted you to know.
Even if you did.
Guys, stop talking.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, well,
You're not outside.
I'm really happy to hear that. I was very concerned that you might be distraught.
I felt like I should be sadder than I was. I think we're better as friends.
I'm
want to be
sorry
awkward.
you were upset about being fine, but I'm glad
don't-
you're fine.
I won't pretend like my brain makes sense to other people.
I'm trying. I'm putting in the effort, Ian. I'm giving it a shot.
I
think get it.
appreciate that.
I don't know. I think it's fine. It'll all come together eventually.
Should we go back inside? It's really cold.
Yeah, I'm so for that.
Oh, I should have been slowly turning up the wind sound effect I have going in the background through the whole thing. Just every like 20 seconds, I should have been like plus 5%, plus 30%.
Reach out to Ian, pat on shoulder, smile, and then like a little hair ruffle, and she's like smiling. She's like, ah, thank God.
I would like to know if anybody that was outside is doing anything during this time.
You mean everybody was inside?
Yeah, sorry. No, everyone's outside!
Playing with my toy.
With how much y'all were talking initially, you'd think you were.
They're all my high level slots, and I mean the only spell I have at 9th level is Power Word Kill. So like,
You have power word kill?
Oh my
What?
She does as of her next rest, yes.
Jesus
okay.
Christ!
okay, I just saw
Well.
that without. Okay.
Yes,
I
that's
didn't
not so-
expect Diane to take power word kill.
Oh, like,
I don't know.
Christ.
I was feeling adventurous.
Well, clearly you don't understand Diane as well as you
Clearly!
thought you did.
Oh.
I mean,
I don't want to watch what you
I
do now,
haven't-
fucking David.
Yeah, barely!
Also-
I
captured
haven't
something.
killed anyone yet. Doesn't mean I don't want to.
Man,
So try me, bitch.
I need to check up on Sterling.
Diane, can you get us there?
Yeah. If you guys are fine teleporting.
I just didn't know if that was what one of those 7th layer.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Seventh line chance.
You can also just call them 7-line spells.
Seven line can't.
Yeah, but I'm
7
having
lines.
him legit just not say that because he has a negative 100 in magic stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe I'll explain it to you sometime.
Don't bother. So, can you do it?
Yes, if you guys want to.
That's
Because
probably
every
good.
time I roll this spell, everyone's like, she's gonna biff it.
It's
Oh, yeah.
funnier if you biff it. That's why.
I want you to biff it!
Also, Diane, can you get out of Sobrio?
Huh?
Why are you in Sobrio, Diane? Get out of there.
You know, I just felt like taking a trip on my own. Sorry, guys. I used my 9th level.
She's on the wagon.
Oh, sweet
What's
God,
happening?
no.
And they're not making a cool shape. This is
Pretty
the
sure
worst.
it's Diane's excellent adventure. Yep, there it goes.
All right.
Shoot.
Shall we go?
Look at it go.
Probably be for the best.
Just wait for this to conclude.
Goodbye, Miss Phantom. We'll keep in touch. You like your friends, don't you, Squidward?
Yeah, it's very that energy.
So, teleport.
So you have a 13% chance, or no, you have a 24% chance of failure. So go ahead, roll.
I'm scared. This is what you all get for saying you wanted me to fail.
Oh.
See, this is why I hate it when like Logan says like you have a 24% chance of biffing it. Hopefully you don't.
Yeah.
You know what's
Then
great?
it always happens.
You know what's great? Ian's at heavy
great?
wounds. Let's keep going.
Oh.
Ian, I'm sorry, my dude.
This is wonderful.
You know how I said we were cool? Fuck that.
Hey, Malaclips.
Anyway.
What's up?
I'd like you to make the only actually canon roll of your magic things stat.
Oh.
And I'm not paying attention to the modifier, I'm just paying attention to the general roll.
I'm giving him inspiration.
Okay, roll this with advantage.
Bet.
An 11?
Damn.
So you got above a 10, that's really all you need, because something's trying to help you with this. As you are, as you say to yourself that other people might be able to see it, you feel a very light tingling feeling coming from from Caster's sword. You feel more magically attuned than normal, as if it's trying to push you towards a different answer.
Pulls the sword out and just kind of like looks at it.
For the first time,
Is that what the sword wanted to tell me?
yeah, effectively, yes.
Good.
By the way, as you take it out for the first time, not surrounded by the sound of rushing water, taking it out and like pointing it, you notice as you move the sword, it moves through the air with this very peaceful humming, vibrating noise.
I have a question, Logan.
Yep.
I drew the sword. Does everybody stop?
There's a amount of eyebrow.
They've all stopped fighting, yes.
Like I'm just imagining like David and like Diane were looking at each other like going and then they just go
Cool.
We
All right,
did.
cool. Let's go.
Never. Onwards.
So about the book, I am sorry that I kept something that belonged to you for so long. I shouldn't have done that.
It's okay.
But
In lights behind you, just like lighting the sky. But
when you were asking about it, I asked you if me and you could talk privately, and you pushed me into talking about it in front of people. And then I asked you if I could keep it because it was the only way that I could help people. And then you still forced me to ask you more politely.
We didn't ask like at all before that point.
I
That's the
said,
thing.
please, I did. I said, please, can
You said please one time. I think you'll find.
I? Okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and point out that she watched the footage back before this and knows how many times she said please.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But that's not what Ian's saying to me right
It's
now.
fair. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I researched for this talk, bitch. Just so you know.
I am so scared of Carrie right now.
Alright.
But did you ask to keep it for several weeks?
Deco, I'm gonna need you to not be in this conversation.
I'm
right now.
just saying, you're doing research, saying things like that. Izzy didn't get there. I'm just gonna bring that up right now.
Oh no, I know.
I'm sorry if I was a tiny bit of a dick about it for 2 seconds. For something that you were a dick to me for 4 weeks.
How was I addicted to you in any way? I just didn't give it back to you. I didn't
You
rub it in your
played
face.
keep
or
away
anything.
with something that you knew was mine. 4 weeks. And then acted like you had some sort of right to it.
Ian, do you remember how you got that tome?
We found it.
We found it, and we decided as a group that you could have it.
Yeah, that's generally how we decide on anything we find.
Mm-hmm.
We don't then steal
You
it from
weren't
each other
given it.
later.
It wasn't given to you because you would be the best person to have it. We learned new things, and I wanted it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Wanting a thing, Isla, doesn't equal you get the thing. You have to have a dialogue about it. You can't just take it and then act like the other person is an asshole for asking for it back. Don't be a fucking child.
That's what it's always about, isn't it? Me being a child. That's why Isla had to learn a thing about manners today.
I'm sorry I made you say please.
It's so ridiculous that you don't fucking get this by now.
Get what, Isla?
All I have to do is ask, right?
Yes.
Right, okay, yeah. Every time I have to ask you for a health potion or something like that, I'm just reminded that I can't do it and that I'm fucking insignificant at this shit, okay? I have to lesser everything about myself to fucking ask you for a favor. So thanks for making me ask again in front of the people that I care about and reminding me that you're fucking better than me, just like Dad used to. I didn't want this to be a whole fucking thing. I just wanted to ask you to not force me to do that in front of people, because I already have to do it when it's just me and you. Thanks for the book, Ian.
The moon explodes.
Knew it! Knew it!
TPK.
TPK.
I'm not joking.
What?
I'm not joking.
Really?
There's a sudden upheaval in the atmosphere. The blizzard that was off behind you guys, you all feel it suddenly disappear and the sky immediately darkens. Light had been returning to the sky slightly, but you hear a massive cracking sound, and over the mountains, the moon that you see get revealed with this brilliant flash of bluish radiant light detonates.
Ian, Isla, what did you do?
And then...
I didn't do anything!
And then everything's back to normal.
Convinced.
And then everything's back to normal and there was no explosion in the sky.
Should come up a little bit. You know some about magic.
Who's to say?
Bring that up a tiny bit.
I made it an intelligence check now, so I have a +2.
Who's to say what that really was? You all do find after seeing that you all feel much colder than you did previously. There are chills running through your body that you cannot shake.
We gotta get you guys inside somewhere. Come on.
Yeah, let's go.
You go around David, and as you come out into the back, you practically run into Sterling as he's walking out around. He bumps into you and backs up a step. He's like, "Oh, jeez, sorry."
It's fine. Hi. How's it going, Sterling?
Colder than I would have expected it to be, but pretty good. Did you guys all... Did you do the thing you said you were gonna do?
Yeah, we did. And if you'd be so kind, do you have anywhere for us to possibly rest and, get warm?
You notice that he has a jacket on and seems to have a backpack and has like a hiking cap on. He's like, "Yeah, no, you guys just settle in. You treat the place like it's yours, no problem." Things have been, after yesterday, after the blizzard, I decided it was best to try to go and deal with the cave now, because I think I'm gonna have to leave soon. I've already got the animals out of here.
You want to wait a little while and let us
could you
come
wait?
with you?
Because we have business in that cave as well.
Sure, yeah. If that's what you guys want to do, then I'm more than happy to wait for you, but it's gotta be today. I can't wait here any longer with the weather being the way it is.
Can you wait 8 hours?
Yes, that is still today.
Perfect.
Maybe we could let you rest in somewhere a little bit more comfortable before we head out.
Oh, okay. I think I pick up words. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Jean.
Fireballs.
Reaches
Sterling.
into the bag, pulls out tent. Yeah, let's go!
Little did you know that I, Diane, from New York, happen to love camping!
Oh my god.
We call it glamping where I'm from.
Oh.
You cast the mansion.
Yeah.
The mansion is
Can I
cast.
request? Can it have like a ski lodge theme? Just because it's freaking cold. It's stupid. It's just a
Based
little-
on past
it's an
experiences,
aesthetical
yes,
thing.
it looks exactly like a ski lodge. With spiral staircases and long, elegant halls.
And just all these paintings of Diane and all these sculptures of her. She's just so
Oh,
goddamn
yeah.
beautiful. That's mostly a joke.
Fucking
There's
makes the
probably
magnificent
more.
mansion, uses all of the space available to just make one ballroom, and is like, this was worth it. Has Sterling not been in there?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, he's been in there.
Has he once?
When?
Back when you fucking defeated Berserker.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, he brought him in there. That's why I was like, I'm
Well,
pretty sure we've had the
that's
so
fair.
this is magic conversation. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, he hasn't been in the ski lodge edition.
I'm gonna crash. Slowly makes his way towards the room, just sore as shit. Go-
David.
My back! My
David, do we need
back!
to bring you a malt by?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem, buddy.
My sweet old man D&D boyfriend.
Leave me alone.
Can I just say, this is
I was riddled with arrows by a bunch of elves. My hat's gone. I'm going to bed.
Does anybody need Sterling for anything during this time?
I need him to stay alive.
Alright.
The only reason I told him to come in here was to stay alive, yeah.
Well,
Alright,
I guess
so-
I gotta kill him.
I imagine Isla's trying to make a move, and David's just like, no, not today.
You stay away from me, you vixen.
I just walk by and like knock on the door for David. He's like, no. I'm like, hot chocolate. He's like, yes.
Yes.
You heard it. He said yes. That's consent.
Fuck off. I just come in.
Going to bed.
What do you call this
Chocolate's really
drink
good,
you made? What is this? What is this called? John.
John, Mr. Steal Your Girl. Oh.
He's
So do you
right there.
think? So do you think you get mad at me if I went after Ian? I'm kidding.
Ian looks up from hot chocolate for a second.
Okay.
So what do you call this fangled new thing? This hot and cold drink.
This fangled new
No,
thing.
it's just some hot chocolate with some ice cream in it. I didn't really think to give it a name.
So
Fair.
floats of existence since 1893.
Really?
Yeah, there you
Well, then I'm like, you know what this reminds me of, Jean? A float.
There
Let's
you go.
call it a hot chocolate float.
But yes, I've been here the entire time sipping hot chocolate.
It's a
What do you think about all this, Ian?
Yeah, what are you doing after the war?
Yeah, Ian, what are you doing after the war?
Yeah.
That's a good fucking question,
Right.
boy.
You
Yeah.
want to be here? You're in the conversation now.
Damn
I-
right.
I honestly have no idea.
I feel like Isla's matured a lot recently.
She has. I was very proud of her today for a bit.
For a bit.
What is that? Hold on! Hey! Ian,
Goes
what
and
is...
sits down next to Ian. Like
I
for a
had
bit.
stood
Ian.
back up, but I believe I'll just sit back down.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah,
We're
as-
working
as-
through the twins things now.
No, you guys, you go ahead.
As-
You do you, fam.
What do you mean by that, Ian?
Well, I mean, like, she was able to give up her gear blade to help
I didn't
care
mean
for
that
it, and
part.
I was really... I know, I'm getting to that thing.
Uh-huh.
I was just really impressed at, like, how much she's matured. Like, a couple of years ago, I don't think she ever would have made a call like that. Like, she was so mad at Orla. We both were. And it was nice to see her kind of get past that at least a little bit.
I get that.
And,
What about that second part, though, boy?
I'm still confused about that. She pulled me aside, and
We got him cornered, boys.
she
Oh.
seemed to be upset.
Quick, surround Ian.
Guys, let him talk.
She pulled me aside, and she was pretty upset about the whole exchange of the book.
Regale,
And-
what happened there?
She apologized.
She was
for
probably
taking the
pretty
book.
embarrassed of it, right?
Yeah, that kind of is a lot to ask. Pretty please, may I have the book?
For the record, I'm dancing and Izzy's trying to hit me.
Jesus Christ. Trying to
Oh my God.
formulate my thoughts.
I'm sorry. I wasn't distracted. I won't look at you. I'm sorry.
She was upset about the exchange of the book. I got a little mad at her. She seemed... It felt like she shouldn't have been that upset given how much shit she gives me on a daily basis, that I just wanted my book back and was maybe giving her a little bit of ribbing, but she seemed to take it really personally, and I got mad at her, perhaps called her a fucking child.
Are you
Oof.
Ian, are you serious? Did you really? Ian.
She seemed so indignant that she should have to ask permission to take something that wasn't hers, and I got a little upset about that, because that seemed so very Isla from like 10 years ago. I really thought we were past that kind of thing.
But did you have to
Beyond
bring it
that.
up in front of everyone?
She
I
does the
mean-
exact same thing to me. I honestly didn't think it was a big deal to give each other a little bit of ribbing.
You know, it kind of seems like she's going through it right now. That, and she did see David, like, really get his ass handed to him a little bit.
You guys honestly say so many things to each other that it's a wonder that anything hasn't already set this off. But
Indeed.
I mean,
you
Christ,
guys are
you guys are
siblings, and you're
siblings.
used to stuff like that.
Ah! Jean, we just said the same thing.
Yeah,
That was
twinsies.
kind of incredible.
I think it was more about something else that she said that really took me off guard.
Hmm?
She was really frustrated and embarrassed at having to ask for help because she couldn't do something. Like, once again, I was like pretending like I was better than her.
Do you know how, I mean, I'm just gonna speak from perhaps an observant standpoint. It is really hard for Isla to ask people for help. I mean, I'm gonna talk from the standpoint of, she basically asked me stuff about love and then denied aggressively about the whole David situation. She
Oh yeah,
doesn't
she
go
did that to me too.
she doesn't go to people. I mean, oh.
What does
Oh,
she
boy.
mean by again, though?
She brought up our dad, and she's, I don't know, it took me aback because I've never once thought that I was better than my sister. If anything, I thought we were just completely equal. Like, we have different areas of expertise, but neither one of them are better or worse. Like, there are things she can do that I certainly can't. She's better in a fight than me by far. Like, without her around, I would definitely be dead.
From what I understand, you guys were, before you learned about everything, you guys were a pretty traditional mage family, right? You guys were learning
Starting to
from
wonder
your
about that,
father.
but more or less.
You guys were learning from your father. You guys were going into Clock Tower. I think that
Yeah.
she may be feeling inadequate because of how things went with that. If your father really did treat her somewhat differently, or if maybe Clock Tower did when you two were there, or maybe she's just, and again, I don't know much about mage society, but a lot of mages seem to put a pretty high price on things like that. A lot of them still seem to think that if you're not smart enough or you can't do enough, then you failed.
I think you're ignoring a very simple thing, Ian.
I see
that-
She comes back with a chocolate
What's that,
mustache.
Susan?
When
It's
you
like a-
speak to her about showing respect and asking nicely, you're talking down to her. She's not a child or your lesser. And you seem to be completely ignoring the fact that when you were talking, she said that you reminded her of your father. Somebody that she's made great peace with having to kill, and you haven't. Clearly she harbors negative feelings towards him that you're just entirely incapable of feeling.
I also think that it might all. This is just my take on it. There's something to think about as well, but it takes a lot for Isla to ask for help or ask for something, and to kind of tease her for it kind of doesn't help.
If you consider her your equal, then let her talk like herself and be herself.
Yeah, it makes me sad that I completely misunderstood how she was feeling for so long. Like, truth be told, like, I have felt similarly to her. Like, she resents a little bit. I can tell that Dad gave me a lot more attention in training me.
A lot of what we said.
Let me finish, please, for the love of God.
Oh no!
I was gonna agree with you, but yes.
Yes.
Based on recent events, I feel.
She's gonna shut the fuck up!
Truth be told, on the flip side of it, like, when I was younger, I resented Isla a lot too, because she got to spend a lot more time with Mom. Like, at least from the outside, it looked like she was having a lot more fun. I really don't want Isla to keep thinking that asking for help is some kind of weakness, or that it, like, puts you below anyone else. Like, everyone is good and bad at different things.
You might want to
Asking for help should be totally natural.
Try to stay available for her whenever she needs you, but don't try to impose anything on her, especially now. The same should be true in reverse, from her as well, obviously, but I think currently asking for help is difficult for her because in this moment, especially in these few days, She has to be stronger than she's ever been in her life.
Suzume,
Yeah.
are you in pain?
A kind that I'm not used to dealing with, yeah.
I mean, physically.
No, physically I feel better than I have since I was summoned.
I thought I noticed something earlier. More of a, I don't know, like a red tinge about you.
The qualities that I was summoned with that I borrowed from Goro, because I was just his reflection, have begun to fade away now that he's gone. My ability to make weapons and such will remain, but now that the Grail considers me a proper servant, my mind has become sharper. My reflexes have become a bit faster. And my noble phantasms have fully summoned themselves. I'm able to control my sword more than I could. And I have the means to kill Ryder. The main change is I was borrowing Goro's eyes that were given to him as the greatest smith who had ever lived. I'm not going to be able to deflect weapons the way that I could, but I'm able to see things the way that I saw things now. If that's the change that you're maybe noticing. It's not a bad thing. It means that I've ceased being Goro's student and am returning to being the demon swordsman that I was. As for the Isla thing, I'm sorry, we pulled away.
No,
She's
it's okay.
probably more mad at herself than you.
I mean, I'll be honest, I think she deserves to be mad at me as well.
Although you guys are siblings, I still think you guys are learning a lot about each other every day. I think the best you can do now is, instead of being angry at her in turn, try and be understanding.
Oh yeah, I was angry at her like, at the start of this conversation, but yeah, no, I'm okay.
Just remember just remember the golden rule, Ian. Don't call your twin sister a child whenever she's a day away from having to murder her father.
That old chestnut.
To which she fades away mid-saying that.
Maybe to treat your foes if they're your sister. I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm leaving.
God, there's so much good in the world, guys.
I'm retreating to my room, Susan.
There's just so much good in the world, you guys. I just don't.
You know what? You're right, Sean. Goddamn ray of sunshine.
Is this a thing now?
I appreciate your presence in all this.
I can't believe Suzume said something that identifies you so well. You are literally a walking, talking
And
beach.
you're weird.
Wait, what'd you
And
say?
Caster said you were childish.
That was the worst
Runs
joke
down the
I
hall.
ever heard. You're already gone. Fight me.
No, I'm still talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the beach thing.
Were you talking about Suzume's joke or her joke?
That's Susan May's joke.
Oh, because she's still around, so fucking you
Oh,
say
yeah.
that. She's just like, at least I have a face.
Oh, shit! Get it, Suzume!
I take off my helmet.
You do?
DJ.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're hot.
Oh, wow. Rather good looking.
I do okay.
You look better without it.
I don't know how to handle you.
God, Lancer, do you know how much good in the world there is?
I really don't. Lancer disappears.
This sword is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I can't believe Jean's actually gonna get the harem ending. My god.
You hear from the other room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go take a bath. Let's go, man.
Do it. Do it. You can go take a bath, Mel. Do it.
Oh, sure.
All right, cool. We're gonna go take a bath.
And then they talk about their feelings.
Gee.
What you just did for 40 minutes.
You're a fun guy.
Talk about the boys they like.
Aw. Surprise! It's each other.
No way.
Oh, that's worked out so well.
Got an alchemy set next to this, like.
sometimes he'll plop different chemicals into the bath so it fizzes
Oh,
and they're like,
Oh,
bubbles.
hell yeah.
I've invented the bath bomb.
If anyone's gonna...
Lila would be furious.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
Heckin'. Also, I'm imagining that what Carrie's implying happens to Ian while he's still taking the bath with Sean.
Oh.
It's like, what the fuck is happening to
That'd be so funny. Like, depending on what like it is, like it just John's just like talking to you, blah blah blah. So his eye, he just stops, his eyes go wide.
Are those horns?
Oh.
Oh,
Fucking
So,
Mal's just like, yo, Ian, you need help washing your back? There's just a tail with a sponge washing Ian's back. He's like, no, I'm good.
There's so much good in the world. How many times?
Oh.
Shut up.
He's gonna after that happens, just kind of like go over toward David and Isla's room, and understanding that David is probably asleep, he's gonna like put a very light knocking on the door.
Go away!
Sorry,
What did Ian say to you? This is weird. What's going on?
I was gonna get to that. None of this is what Ian was talking to me about. All of this is, I got really distracted because I heard. He's just like blushing
So
profusely and like just like turning away and like turning back, and he's like,
I'm just having a bad time.
I'm having a great time. What are you talking?
Dude, I was just looking at you like, okay, come on, you have a point. Can you get to it?
I wanted to see if you could maybe hang out with Suzume. I know that it's not something you wouldn't do, and I just felt like letting you know. She was in there by herself. If you were sleeping, don't worry. I'm just, you know.
I mean, I can go and do that and then try to sleep. I'm gonna try to get some rest, but yeah.
Also, can you make me a potion?
Yeah, that's not really my thing. You should go ask the nerd to do that for you.
I mean, I asked him, but he's making some other things right now.
Alright,
And I thought that maybe I could ask you.
Noting that if she makes a potion for you, mechanically that has to be her downtime during the rest.
That's fine.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be tonight. It's just something I was thinking about, and I didn't know if it was. I felt like we didn't really talk much before the whole thing that happened with David, and I'm glad that worked out. But
He looks back at sleeping David. Yeah, it's okay.
I'm really glad that you guys came to me for that. I mean, I know that you probably would have fixed it sooner or later, but it really felt like we were chatting a little bit, you know?
I'm sorry about the whole crossbow thing when we like met each other. I just we're at war, and you're a nice person, and I'm really glad that we're friends.
Oh,
I was really afraid.
I'm so
She's, like,
happy
super
that everyone's
fucking
telling
weird.
each other how much they like each other.
Shut
I'm not
up!
gonna-
Why
I'm
are
not
you
gonna lie.
killing? It's gross.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really afraid.
Oh, this is great. Do my work
You're-
for me, guys.
It's time
from
to kill
everything
one of
that
us off.
Everything that I've been through with mages, I honestly thought that I was about to die.
Yeah, if you had been any kind of danger to me and David, I wouldn't have hesitated to kill you. But I'm glad that I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't too. I mean, for more than just me being dead.
Yeah.
He just like goes, "Come on, Sean."
Oh, it's so cute. I love that he's afraid of her. Go on.
I'm really sorry. I don't talk to you a lot because you are probably the scariest person I'm around right now, and that includes Lancer.
I most definitely take that as a compliment. Thank you.
I meant it as one. And don't tell her that I'm okay. I'm gonna go to sleep now. You don't have to make that if you don't want to. I
What
can
do you
do
want me to make? I might not be able to make it anyway. Like
a potion of climbing. This lets me stick to walls a bit better. You know, like when we were fighting against Alquam and I walked down the thing, and it's fun. It's funny. If you do,
Yeah.
I can double whatever price you need for it. Thanks a lot, Isla.
You're welcome, Sean. I'm gonna go take a bath.
Again, not because you're I'm just
I know.
gonna go.
You didn't say that I would yeah, you should go. Yeah.
Just gonna. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. So I'm not, because all of the roleplay's happening, I'm not gonna talk to Suzume when I get in the bath. I'm just gonna silently get in the bath. Does she stay in the bath with me? Is she still there?
She does notice you. Whenever you enter into the bath, she's completely disrobed by this point. She doesn't notice you. This is the first time you've seen her hair is down. Whenever you enter, you do see she doesn't. Her back's to you. You don't. You notice there's a series of like scars and whatnot under the area where her robes would normally be that you hadn't seen before. You do notice that the flower that she has in her hair normally, she appears to still be holding that. She doesn't notice you until you get around her and get in the bath, at which point there is a brief flicker as if she looks like she's about to disappear. She looks startled, realizes you're there, and doesn't fade away. I'm sorry. I should probably be outside watching things. I'm sorry. This isn't really what a servant is supposed to do.
No, you've earned it. Relax, it's fine.
Bats like this are something that didn't exist in my time, and I'm not gonna get another chance, I don't think. So whenever they said they were going to do this, I was originally going to ask if I could join them, but then I thought that that would be rude, so I waited till they were done. I thought you were asleep. Can I tell you something that I haven't told anyone? The situation that I was summoned under was strange. The ritual that was used to summon me was all sorts of complicated. I understand now it was meant to tie me and Goro together because Ichiro wanted me around to complicate the Dao clan. But when I was alive, I didn't have this flower. I never wore it. Whenever I was summoned, it's the only thing that I was summoned with that I wasn't familiar with. And every time I've tried to remove it, there's been a voice in the back of my head telling me that some things are worth holding on to. Somebody that... I don't think that they're aware of me. I don't think it's even a living person. I think it's just echoes from somebody from when I was summoned. Someone saying that it's okay that I didn't live a full life, as long as I found something to die for. Somebody had died when I was summoned, clearly. Somebody who hadn't gotten to fully experience life. And somehow they left this with me. I still don't fully understand why. I think I understand how they think now, though. I wish that I could have come to this before Goro disappeared. So, do you think that Diane and Malclips are going to be together after the war?
It'd be real funny if they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want Diane to be happy. I want Malclips to be happy. If they're gonna be happy together, then that's great.
They seem like
But
they
I
would be
don't
good
know.
for each other.
I think so too.
Baby, don't leave me.
What is
Susan,
happening?
no. Susan, no.
And I'm
Baby,
not
Susan, don't leave me.
romantically or otherwise. I'm not an expert on those things. I think they both just need a break, and I think them being around each other could help.
I think that almost all of our group are good for each other.
He needs something exciting in his life. Maybe something that he doesn't want to fix.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really pay close enough attention to it because I was kind of focused on how my brother had a big honking crush on her. So yeah, but that hasn't worked out. So you know, who's to say?
Carrie, I'm gonna need you to wingman me right real quick.
I don't know. In watching him, I think that whole experience has taught them both a lot about themselves. I've only been with you a short time, but I think, even if things don't look like they're working out between them, and I don't know, I'm not good with relationships, but
me neither? Don't worry about it.
It seems to me like, through their various interactions, they've learned a lot about their own weaknesses and strengths.
Malclips is a very charming and handsome man, don't you think, Susan?
Good job.
I'm gonna be honest, you're all very attractive people.
It's really gross. It's almost like an artist can't draw ugly people or something.
It's almost like they're very talented. And we're
Quick, tell her how much money I have. I'm kidding.
It's not something I ever really focused on in my life. I wasn't interested in romance, and as far as fashion goes, I made what I had to wear, and then cared more about living by my sword than I did about how I looked, so...
Izzy's just like, are you sure? Because you look outstanding.
Oh my god. Oh.
Can I offer you some advice?
Sure, I can't promise I'll take it, but you can offer it to me.
It can be very painful to be chastised by someone that you care about. Very, very painful. And it can seem like they're dismissing you or talking down to you. And I'm gonna be honest with you. That is how it felt to me. But it's not what he means. I felt the same way about Castor. And I jumped to conclusions, and it led me down a very dark path. I think that you're both very abrasive people at your cores. And if you want him to tolerate you, I think you have to tolerate him. Not so many people are lucky enough to have someone that they are so permanently connected to.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the most upset I've been at him in like a really long time, but it happens. Like, we're siblings. We fight. We make up. We get over it. We fight again. Whatever. I might need a little more time than I normally would need for this one.
Take all the time you need. Just make sure that after your anger subsides, you're not so proud that you can't return to how things were.
And with that, I'm gonna
Yo, second piece of advice. You want to make out, though?
Yo, we should.
Yes!
Nobody tell David.
No one tell David.
Careless whisper intensifies.
No.
Fucking David
You know what
finds
would make
out.
us making out even better? If you could invite Sun Archer somehow.
I think you
Hold
know
on, I'm
the
reaching
whips.
out to her through our hating each other.
And
No,
Valid,
you'll make things even better. You invite Sun Archer, then you leave and go make out with Malik.
Now, 1 second.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah,
one
then you
second.
go
I'll
make
just
out
While I
just
make out with Sun Archer.
here on summoning that Sun Archer note. 1 second.
Okay.
I lived right. Wall explodes. Sun Archer's in there.
You're wrong, bitch!
Manners are stupid. You know, in a weird way, their dynamic is like an ancient feudal version of the differences between Ian and Isla.
I love it!
But, yeah, so she'll let you go. Bathing happens. She stays in there for a while. As you go, she continues to seemingly softly cradle that flower in her hands at one point. As you leave, slowly lowers it into the water and just lets it drift along the surface. That is more than enough for everyone's downtime, I think. Apart from the person who's normally the most chatty during these things hasn't talked. Yo, Lancer, you're not doing anything?
Lancer, you don't know
No.
Fucking Suzume's there being like, I wish I had more time to talk to him about how he really felt. Lancer's like, I wish I had more time to punch him more in his face.
I'll fucking beat him.
I want Castor back. To beat him to death. Ooh, the hermit that lives in the fucking forest and hates fighting wants to tell me how to be a king. Fuck off! Alright, so in that case, that's all done. You guys wake up the next morning. It is currently, well, when I say next morning, I actually mean you wake up at 4 p.m. You guys heard from one of the lower floors of the ski resort. You would have heard a creak. You would have heard a slamming sound, what sounded like an "hey," and then a thud, and it would have jostled some of you awake at one point. But beyond that, you guys didn't hear anything.
Oh my god.
Except for
I can't believe.
except for Ian, who was just tuckered.
I don't want to wake up David.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And she's gonna look like really fucking upset and be like, I need to talk to you about a thing.
I'll sit down.
I have a penis now.
That's what this guy.
What was I worried about?
Logan, I'm sorry. I need to do this.
I've been sitting yesterday on Sid's stream. I was like, oh, I'm just so anxious that I want to start Vestige in November, but I don't know if there's going to be enough stuff for the next 6 games. What the fuck was I worried about?
You don't gotta worry about Nick, boy.
I stayed asleep. Thank you
no,
very much.
you did, and that's fine. It's just. I love the roleplay stuff. I'm just so like, yeah, I'm bad at predicting how long games take.
Okay, good. Okay, don't make me feel bad about it. Okay, good.
So,
but-
what happened? Did something happen in the night?
Yeah, did you heard, huh? You heard the thing? Yeah, okay.
I heard you talking to Malaclips and you wouldn't shut the fuck up while I was trying to sleep.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna apologize for that, because that was actually really nice and that meant a lot to me. I thought it was the other thing, the painful thing that was happening.
A painful thing? What happened?
So...
Did he hit you?
Did he hit you?
No, I didn't.
I'll go. I'm gonna defend your honor.
So, first of all, I don't need you to defend my honor, okay? I can do that myself. Second of all,
Oh, thank God,
no,
I
he
didn't
didn't hit
wanna
me. I don't want to fight Malaclips, I'm scared of Malaclips.
Dude, have you seen his sword?
It just makes me think that there's so much beauty in the world every time I see his sword.
God, I hate it.
So you know that thing that like I have that where like poison doesn't affect me? I kind of
yeah.
Yeah, that. I kind of thought that happened to me because of the alchemy stuff.
Uh-huh.
But upon further reflection, it's probably because of the demon stuff. A new thing happened to me last night. Like, clearly, she's like gesturing to her body.
What's wrong with it? You look normal. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. What are you talking about? You look normal to me.
No, this huge thing happened to me, and you didn't even notice.
What are you
talking
talking about? What is it?
You know what? If you didn't notice that this happened to me, clearly you weren't paying close enough attention before, and she's gonna storm downstairs.
All I'm saying, Isla, is you don't need a man that don't pay attention to your body.
What? What? I asked you if I noticed anything.
Now you know who would pay attention to your body. There's a lovely archer.
This is sabotage.
There's a lovely archer girl that could pay attention to your body from 2 miles away.
This is sabotage. This is bullshit.
Ella walks downstairs. Lance is like, "Oh, you look different."
What?
He's just like, he doesn't even notice anything. He just heard the conversation. He's like, no, I noticed. Assuming you all come into the main area, Sterling already has his like winter gear on, and he already has his backpack. He's like, okay, so I'm ready to go. You immediately notice anyone entering the room that he very much has a black eye. Sterling just like looks at you. You too.
What happened to you? What happened to what happened to people last night? I apparently missed a lot.
Some stuff happened. Gestures to myself clearly.
Do I notice anything?
So, as you say what happened, Sterling just starts up like, yeah, so I went to the bath last night after everyone cleared out. As this happens, a cup just is set down out of nowhere on a table on the other side of the room, and he just looks at it, and it's like louder than it should, and he's like, and I slept.
I love Suzume! Passive aggressiveness to the max.
What?
What happened?
He slept.
I slipped.
Oh, you slipped and fell.
Yeah, I thought you said slept as well.
No, that came later.
Huh. Slippery floors.
No, I went to the bath, and it was just really slippery in there, and he's just like looking at the cup that was just put down, and I slipped.
Malaclips is disappointed. He could have had a black eye. I'm kidding.
Gotta get punched in the face by Suzume, God!
I just want to get stepped on by Suzume, you know? Have her run me over.
Okay, what the fuck is going on?
Are you okay? Something's different.
What? Has something changed?
I don't know!
You seem really panicked for some reason, David.
Yeah, you're flipping your shit. Are you good?
I do not want to hear that from any of you.
I mean, I'm not dating Diane. I don't expect her to pay close attention to me like you're supposed to. Like, God.
But there was nothing physically different! Are you talking emotionally? Is there something emotionally different? Because I was just waking up and I couldn't read it.
Oh,
You
this
look
is
lovely, by the way.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Ian, you don't
Can I-
look like you had a great morning. You want to?
There was some. I can't be certain until I run some tests, but there may have been some changes.
Puberty?
Did not have the best night. I'm just gonna test something real quick. I root around in my bag and pull out a vial that clearly has just a big old X, like a skull and crossbones on it.
Don't,
So this is something that I've invented called propane. 1 second.
Yeah.
And I just like take a sip of it.
Ah! What? What the fuck?
Oh,
Jesus Christ, Ian!
All right.
I thought everything was fine!
You take a second, you feel a grumble in your stomach, and you burp up like a little tiny puff, just like a little green puff, just.
My hypothesis seems to hold water. Excellent.
Okay, you got
Isla, is that normal?
Yeah,
okay.
Isla.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
he
the
got,
fuck?
he's got the same thing that I have. He's fucking, he's not, poison doesn't affect him anymore. It's all good.
Then what was... that sounds
Too
internal
bad,
to me.
Ian, that actually that was acid, which is different! 46 acid damage, Ian!
You're on your
Not
own,
look
David.
at the repulsive thing that's changed about me, okay? Let's just,
Oh
let's
my
just eat.
god, I hate you so much.
I looked at Isla, looked at David, like, you really can't tell?
What?
Okay.
Ian, tell me now! Why won't anyone tell me?
Because
got
you're an asshole who doesn't see it!
What am
be-
I looking at? What
to
am I
be-
supposed to be looking at?
To be fair, I got a good look at her whole body last night, and I didn't notice anything.
Excuse me.
That's,
just being kind.
uh,
You're just
That's
being-
weird,
you're
but
just
see,
being
she didn't notice
I'm
anything.
just gonna gulp while I'm cooking.
She's just being sweet. She obviously noticed. She's a servant. She knows.
What? No, tell me. Tell me, please.
Oh.
I'm so fucking lost.
Is that directed at Isla or Suzume?
Everyone! I'm so lost. Someone tell me what's going on.
I'm losing my fucking mind here.
If you really can't see it, David, maybe you should ask Isla. Maybe you should beg.
I've been asking Isla! Then tell me what it is. Tell me what happened. What am I not seeing?
Isla, you're gonna make
So-
me cry. Come on.
Unless you intend to tell him, perhaps the bit is best left for
Yeah, we should
now.
move on. Yep. Yep.
This is becoming more than what it is.
You
I
bastards.
think you're gonna give Spencer a stroke if you don't tell him soon.
So it's 4:30 currently. You guys leave the mansion, and you find yourselves back in the back of the area. And when you guys come out, you see you can tell that it's still not that bright outside. It's brighter than it was, but it seems like it's perpetually dusk, even though it's the middle of the day. But the little bit of light that's outside, the tiny bit of light, you notice appears to be piercing through what appear to be a series of very small holes that have been carved into the tarp that is now covering the zoo. And they're numerous, as if hundreds of about baseball-sized objects had flown through the top, but you don't see anything on the ground around, and it doesn't seem damaged in any way. You guys hear this very low sound building in the distance,
I'll very much stay beside him to make sure nothing goes on with him.
rising up
Keeping my
into
eyes
a...
out.
No!
Oh yeah!
Now tell me something, children.
A slight smile goes across Maleklitz's face.
Are you not going to be heading straight for the Holy Grail? I had assumed that would be the first thing on your list to do after the untimely demise of Castor.
I
little
actually
busy.
agree with him there.
If we go there, then Saber won't be there. I think it's best for you to deal with him.
And what makes you think that we have any interest in dealing with Saber?
Because as long as Saber's there, then you can't have what you want.
Ooh. Somebody is making a whole bunch of assumptions. And you know what they say about assumptions?
And you see everybody's favorite boy, the Boozle.
I pull the blade immediately.
You see Boozle sitting, like, as it's ripped off, and you see the snow outside's picked up a bit. As the bit of tarp where he is fluttering in the wind, he just sits on top of the wall to this place, looking down.
Hello! Been quite a while! Last time we met, we were... Oh, what were we doing? You were attending a party that you were not invited to. I believe.
Immediately pulls out my sword.
Please! I only came here to see if you had any plans of actually fighting the Holy Grail War. You see, this delicate stage of the war, with only about 3...
He, like, regards where Suzume is. He starts walking along the edge over towards you guys, like, tiptoeing and spinning as if he was a ballerina along the top.
At this stage where there's only 3 proper servants remaining in the war, the Grail will have turned itself into a form that can't be used, but can be defended. So Quantavius had prepared for this. Can you guess what he's been doing?
Why don't you tell us?
Whatever it is, it doesn't sound very good.
Oh, no. One of you has first-hand knowledge of what he's been doing. The gathering of demon parts, the formation of bases where he conducted large-scale rituals, the stealing of organs and human blood.
He, like, points over to Malaclips.
You should know. You thwarted one of them.
He's just like, no.
There were 3 facilities similar to the one that you broke into with your friends, Malaclips. You may have thwarted that summoning ritual, but 2 of the great demons came forth, ready to claim a world where demons could reign over mankind. Those demons have now been set loose. And they are no ordinary demons, Malaclips. They are things that could surpass even servants. But don't take my word for it. I am but a humble jester. Instead, you can take it from the great Demon Lord, Byoki!
As he says this, the tarp tears off the entirety of the zoo.
But why?
And you
He's
guys
great.
see this hovering above the tarp. As it is revealed against like dusk, red light pouring in behind it down to where you guys are, you guys just detect this ungodly stench.
Byoki, Demon Lord of Decay, and I, of course, were sent to ensure that you would not be making it to the Grail itself. This will be my last performance, I'm afraid. With the Demon Lord summoned, my services are no longer required by your dear daddy. So, do try to entertain me!
And we're gonna stop there. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Goodbye, we love.